Collateral, let's do, which, as you said when we were talking about the writers, and that is by David Hare, who famous for mainly sort of that. There was that spy trilogy he did, wasn't there, with Bill Nighy? That I remember.
Page 8, page 9, page 10.
No, was it called like Salting the Battlefield?
Yeah, something like that.
And that was
I have to confess, I didn't see past page 8.
Yeah. That usually happens when you read a book as well, isn't it? But it may be written by a man, but directed by a woman. Collateral. S.J. Clarkson, creator of Mistresses.
Yes, I remember that well.
Basically, all centres around the murder of a pizza delivery man, Abdullah, who's shot dead outside the house of a woman, Karen, played by Billie Piper, who's a mother of 2. The pizza was meant to be delivered by somebody else, and Hayley Squires, who we love, plays the manager of the pizza parlour, one of the best performers in this. Drafted into investigate the murder is Kip Glaspie. It is a strange name, isn't it? There's not a lot of Kip Glaspies. Former pole vaulter as well, for some reason.
Apparently, I haven't seen past episode 1, but apparently there's quite a big subplot coming about a pole vault. No, I'm not even joking. About a pole vaulting past, which you'll find out in a minute whether I'm going to stick with it. But if that's not a reason to, I don't know what is.
Oh, I wonder why they did that, because that was one of the many clunky parts of it where, like, the Socko turns up and he's like, didn't you used to be in the Olympics? Or, yeah, we're a pole vaulter, but there was a jump that went wrong, and it was like, and then obviously retrained as a DI for something. Anyway,
I think that happens a lot after the Olympics. They go, I've done that now, I'm going to hang up me vault, or me pole, and I'm going to train as a policewoman.
She's investigating this, you know, she sort of hits brick walls when she tries to interview the Hayley Squires character, then tries to interview Abdullah's sisters. They're all Syrian refugees, and they don't want to reveal too much information for fear of sort of being deported or what have you. Then running concurrently, you've got several other characters sort of jumping around. As I say, Billie Piper, who was the last person to see Abdullah alive. Johnson plays this sort of ineffectual Labour MP who's very sort of principled, but he and Billie Piper were married.
They were married for a short time.
Because they've got the same surname.
Yeah.
And they've got a daughter together, but the baby isn't his. And he's also got a connection to the local vicar, played by Nicola Walker. Were they in a relationship at one point as well?
I don't know.
She has a line where she says, you were like a footnote. She's a full chapter about her sort of current partner.
Just the sort of thing that you'd say if you were meeting up with an ex. You'd say exactly that, wouldn't you? If you were
and her connection to it is that her current girlfriend / partner witnessed the murder and was the only witness to the murder, but was high on drugs at the time, but has the key piece of evidence that it was a woman rather than a man who committed the murder, a woman dressed in a diving suit, as is revealed.
Or a wetsuit.
Yes.
As you might say.
Yeah. As is revealed throughout the course of the episode, we see the murderer. So it isn't a whodunit, it's a sort of why done it, really. And it is this character called Sandrine Shaw, who's sort of a high-ranking army official who we see sort of doing sniper training towards the end of the episode. So it's one of those where there's a lot of characters who have sort of got these interconnecting sections. I mean, that you get time.
And I think the reason she's in the wetsuit, just to go back, she used to be a synchronized swimmer in the Olympics.
Surely a diver.
Well, I don't know, but that's the connection to the previous.
They don't wear, yeah. No, I know. I was just trying to think. They don't really wear that. No. Well, synchronous swimming, you'd struggle to get your arms up. You know, you get the sense that we are going to spend more time with these characters, and David.
We're going to spend at least three more episodes.
Yeah. And one thing I didn't say as well is that it's set over the course of 4 days. So, I mean, each episode isn't a day really, because we get sort of the night of the murder, and then the following day. Luke, thoughts? That's how Is that what we're getting?
I feel so bad because I want to give a constructive, proper review of my thoughts. I want it to be balanced, and I want it to
I didn't connect with any of the characters, and
Yeah, just not saying, because otherwise, I know I've not been here for a while, but I could just isolate.
That is your catchphrase.
I found them really
why?
cold.
You say that all the time, but why didn't you? Why?
Okay.
Why, Luke? Why?
Do you want to know why? I think mainly it was just so clunky. The dialogue was just crap through the majority of it. Not all of it, but the majority of it. There's a bit where Billy Piper's interviewed, which is the most horrendous interview scene I've ever seen. It's just awful from beginning to end. And she's asked how many children she has, and she tells him about the two of them, but she says the other one's a baby, and she says she doesn't come into it, which is a fair comment. And then the policeman comes out later and says to Carey Mulligan, she said that the baby doesn't come into it. What does that mean? And Carey Mulligan says, well, she's a baby, so she probably doesn't think she comes into it. And I just think, for Christ's sake.
He gave us our pizza, and then I closed the door, and then we heard gunfire out in the street maybe 30 seconds later.
How did you know it was gunfire?
Because I was brought up in Beirut.
Okay. You were alone?
Yep, with the children. She fell asleep afterwards. I think she had a reaction.
Reaction?
To what happened. I think it was fear.
When did you order?
9:30. We have a pizza every Monday.
At the same time?
Yeah.
You said children?
Yeah.
How many?
2.
Tell me a second child's name.
Lucy, but she doesn't come into it. She's a baby.
You're not married.
I don't understand. I just ordered a pizza. My marital status has nothing to do with it.
Why would anyone kill a pizza delivery man?
Something else, Sod.
What?
So, I spoke to Karen Mars, the woman who ordered the pizza.
What?
She talked about her baby. She said, oh, she doesn't come into it.
So?
She doesn't come into it. What does she mean by that?
What does she mean by it? Probably like how a pizza delivery man was just murdered outside her door, and as a mother, she feels her baby was not involved. That's probably what she meant.
She doesn't come into it. It's an odd way to put it.
Proper drama is supposed to show us things instead of telling us everything, and I got so bored of this. I thought Carey Mulligan, who I normally really gravitate to, was really standoffish. I thought John Sim had some really dodgy dialogue to deliver.
The system is the system. Disliking it isn't going to change it. It carries on, regardless of what you feel about it. You're a really nice man, David, but you are so lost in things that you can't do anything about. You no longer have any idea who you actually are.
Where are you going? Just stay.
I can't stay here.
Come on, you'll feel differently in the morning.
I don't think so.
Look, if the Labour Party makes you angry, what do you think it does to me?
It makes you boring.
I thought the most interesting part of it were the
Nicola
Syrian
Walker.
refugees, Nicola Walker and Hayley Squires, but ultimately, I don't know how invested I am to come back for more. I don't think I would. And sometimes you can get blindsided because Nicola Walker's in this, who I love. John Simmons in this, who I love. Carey Mulligan does very little TV, but for some reason...
Hayley Squires.
Yeah, but for some reason, it just didn't do anything for me. And I want to say, I don't go into these things wanting to pick them apart.
You go into them with an open... You actually... Yeah. I'll stick up for you here, Luke, because you did... When we were doing our sort of top 5s of the year, you wanted to watch Collateral because you thought, on paper, it seemed like your sort of thing, and you were really excited about it.
On paper now, if I hadn't seen it, I'd be interested. It's an incredible cast. It's an interesting idea. It's just delivered really poorly, in my opinion, and I just don't want to watch any more of it, I don't think. If somebody tells me toward the end of it really picks up and I may go back. There's only 4 of them, but for right now, I don't think my life is going to be worsened by not sticking with it.
I think I might stick with it, and I agree with a lot of the points you brought up. There's some clunky lines, as you say, especially all the Billy Piper stuff. There's some stuff, as I say, the stuff with the Socko. There's that journalist character who is very, very cliched. Talking about female talent, as we were, S.J. Clarkson, I think, does a good job of directing it. It all looks very slick and very stylish, but at the same time, it almost feels like you're watching it from a distance.
I say this so often, don't I? Sometimes I'm like Kiri, dark subject, great performances. I'm invested with the characters. I'm in that. I'm watching that. I'm not watching this, being part of it. I'm watching it from afar. And that's one of my real pet hates, because when TV drama is good, it grips you, it holds you, and you are in it. And I was not in this at all.
I'll tell you what the difference is, and I think this, when we're talking about trauma, is that when I was thinking about trauma, I was referring to the characters by their names, like Dan and John, not John Sim and Adrian Lester, whereas in this, we've just been talking about Billy Piper and Carey Mulligan and Nicola Walker. You don't remember the character's name, and in Kiri you remember you remember Miriam and Alice and Jim and Toby. So I think that is it. If you remember the names of the characters, then I think
you already means you care. You've already made a connection with them, haven't you?
Yeah. Whereas here we were just talking about the actors. There's enough intrigue. I think I'm interested in the sort of the side issues, the stuff with Nicola Walker and her partner, the stuff with Hayley Squires and her mum seems very interesting. I thought the start of it was really well done, where you got the pizza, the hectic sort of stuff about the pizza parlour, and you got that question mark about, like, her character, Hayley Squires' character, was so insistent that he took the pizza, that, like, she knew something was going to happen. So I'm interested really to see where that slots in, and also a little bit because he did show us the killer throughout, and the sort of the stripping down of the killer. I am interested to see the sort of the connection there, and the fact that she's in the army. Certain parts of this, I think almost they were sort of going for like a Nordic noir feel, in that there is all these separate stories going on sort of concurrently. Maybe that's how it was pitched to them originally, like, this is our attempt to do like Nordic noir. I mean, it's going to be going up against Marcella for the next 3 weeks, which is created by Hans Rosenfeld of the Bridge fame. I'd say, I'm similar to you, but I think as it is only 4 parts, I think if it was 6 or 8, I think I'm done with this, like I was with Marcella, I think, after 2 episodes. But I'm certainly going to give this another episode. If it doesn't, then I'm done. But
I think you'd have seen 50% of it by then anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know. It gives me no pleasure to say anything of the things because the talent is there. I just think the script, and I am somebody who looks to TV for more realistic stuff. Not everybody does. People look for escapism. If this was a film, I could kind of forgive it, because I think sometimes film dialogue I'm a little less picky on, but for TV I need a sense of reality, especially when it's all based in London and in a real scenario. And there was just so much clunky stuff that I just could not forgive it for that. And maybe that will clear up. And if you tell me, look, episode 2 drops all the things you hated and it's a really engrossing second hour, then I'll have to eat my words and watch it. And I hope it does happen. But as review of episode 1, I wasn't keen.